What I'll be talking about today is about cleaning and lubrication of your rifle. And I'll start off by just recounting a little anecdote. I was at the range one day and there was a chap, well, he wasn't next to me, he was two benches down, but in his little kit of, well, his maintenance kit, whatever, that he brings to the range, he had a bottle of WD-40, a spray can of WD-40. And there are other products very similar, CRC, virtually the same. Now, WD-40, I have a background in the engineering trades, and I have operated quite very expensive, complex machinery, and at no point did anywhere where I worked did we use WD-40 to lubricate that machinery. There's a reason for that, because it's not a lubricant. Yes, it will lubricate, but then water will lubricate to a degree. So, but it's not what it's designed for. And regardless of what the company says and the manufacturers and whoever and people who swear by it and sworn by it for years, rah rah rah, that's not what it's good for. It's not good for that. It will destroy your machinery. I'll probably get sued for saying that, but it's true. Now here's something that was on the internet, and it said WD-40, because the question was, is it okay to use WD-40 on a gun? And the answer is, WD-40 has been used in the gun industry for many years. It is not only safe to use on your gun, but comes highly recommended by many experts in the industry due to its cleaning, rust preventing, moisture displacing, penetrating and lubricating properties. Now, yes, it's good for cleaning. Yes, it will prevent rust to a degree. Yes, it does displace moisture. It's very good at that. Yes, it penetrates. It's very good penetrant. And lubricating properties. Its lubricating properties are not very good. Okay, they're just not. So, my advice is, if you want to lubricate your gun, if you want to clean it with WD-40, go right ahead. But don't. What happens is, if you leave that stuff there on your gun, any oil, any actual lubricating oil that you apply, it will break it down, and then that lubricating oil will not work properly. Now, the actual lubricating oil that I use, and a lot of people would probably scoff at this and shake their heads and go, what are you using that for? But there's a reason why I use it. It's because it's been around for a very, very long time, and it works well, and it does the job, and it's cheap. You know, you can buy Rem oil and Frog Lube and CLP and rah rah rah. They're just a gimmick, you know. They really are. They're just a gimmick, you know. This is what I use. Singer oil. It's sewing machine oil, right? And it's probably the best value lubricating oil that you can buy for a firearm. It's a very light oil, and it doesn't leave a lot of residue. It doesn't collect crap, dirt, dust. It is the best lubricating oil for your gun. I'm telling you, it's really, really cheap. And yeah, all those, you know, industry experts who reckon theirs is the best, bullshit. Yeah, that stuff's good. Now, Singer oil. Singer sewing machine oil is the best. Okay, this is where, so it's not just me saying it. The internet. You do not want to use a WD-40 unless you're using it to break down and remove old bad oil. Then you have to make sure you get rid of all the WD-40, because it will continue to break down any oil you put in the machine. Used as a cleaner, it will work, not as a lubricant. Okay? That's off the internet, and I agree 100% with that, because that's the truth. Okay, do not use WD-40 as a lubricant. Now, a very, very popular all-purpose cleaner, lubricant, whatever, is Balistol. It was designed, when was it designed? Product originated from Germany before World War One. The German military requested an all-round oil and cleaner for their rifles and equipment. All their equipment, leather, wood, everything. And the German military used it from 1905 to 1945. Why they stopped using it, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, it contains, not supposed to contain any carcinogens. So when you do spray it as an aerosol, you know, if you can smell it, then you're consuming it. So, and if it's got no carcinogens, it's all right. I don't know about the others. Okay, let's see. So I've covered that. Now, another really good lubricant is if you want an aerosol lubricant, Balistol, although Balistol is extremely light, is this stuff. It's called TF2 lubricant. It's got, it's made by Weld-Tight. Yeah, never heard of it. And it's got, what's it called? Teflon. It's got Teflon in it. This stuff is an excellent lubricant. I'll tell you who put me onto this. It was a triathlete friend of mine, and this is what he and all his buddies use on their bikes. You know, really, really, you know, $10,000 triathlete bikes. This is what they use, and they swear by it, and it is good stuff. So Balistol, as far as aerosols are concerned, although you can get spray packs of Balistol, as far as aerosols are concerned, those two are the ones that I use. Now, and as far as actual lubricating moving parts, like with the bolt, well, you know, maybe trigger mechanism, some of it, I don't put much on, really don't need much, like a drop or two. So they're the lubricants that I use, okay? Now, if I know that I'm not going to shoot a gun for a long time, or putting it into storage, or like those extra barrels that I had for my 3-barrel combo, I knew that I wasn't going to use them for a long time. So if it's going into deep storage, pardon me, this is what I use, Lanatec. It's a lanolin, and it's as far as you know, spraying stuff. This probably lasts longer as a rust preventer than anything else, but it still does break down after a while. Everything does. But so that's what I use for long-term use, long-term storage. Now, I do use this stuff, so the old CRC or WD-40 for not on my guns, but for other purposes. So I'll put that to one side because yeah, I don't recommend it. Now, for actual cleaning, like some of the spots that you have to get into to clean your rifle, like, you know, where the lugs, the lug recess in the breech, you know, it can be a real pain in the ass to try and clean that. And what I have found, the easiest way to do that, and I can't remember who put me on it, is to use this stuff, brake cleaner. It's cheap. I think that was $4, and it says that it's non-residual, but it does leave a bit of a residue. All right, but it's not I don't know what the residue is. I think the residue is actually from the propellant. You know, it's not the actual liquids in it. I think it's from the propellant. But anyway, so I'll actually get in there, you know, and give it a good old, even the trigger mechanism, you know, because you don't want to soak the trigger mechanism in a lot of oil and CRC and WD-40 and garbage like that. So I will actually use this to blast all the gunk out. You know, and because it's so cheap, you can use, you know, you can really go to town with it, and it's excellent. And because it doesn't leave a residue, generally speaking, you don't have that problem like with WD-40, where you know, you can't clean all of it out, and then you've got some of it in there, and it's not good for it. But so I use this to clean. Now, with the bolt, what I do after a range session or hunting or whatever is that when I come home, I will actually, this is what I use. it's a plastic tub, you know, just like $2 plastic tub. This one's not very good. Doesn't clean properly, doesn't close properly. And what I have in it, what I do is I take the bolt out. If it's a Howell bolt, you know, you can just pop it and put the two pieces in. If it's a more complex bolt like a Remington, I'll just put the whole thing in there and just soak it in there overnight. And all of the garbage, all of the crud, you know, all the fouling and powder residue and all that pretty much dissolves off. Maybe you have to give it a bit of a light brush, but usually it just all dissolves off and ends up on the bottom. And what I have in it is this stuff, white spirits. It's it's really cheap. You can buy it anywhere, and it doesn't cost the world. And that tub of white spirits will, it'll last you forever. You know, one of these bottles is going to last you forever. So it's a really easy method of doing it. You know, if you're in a hurry, yeah, all right, whatever. But if you've got time, you just let it soak overnight, and it does a fantastic job. So yeah, that's what I use on my bolts, because they can be a bit of a pain to clean. All right. So I'll put that to one side. So pretty much, this is what I use to clean. I use the brake cleaner to blast all the crud out of the really hard to get to spots, and you know, in a rifle there are hard to get to spots, especially if it's something like a pump action or some of the lever action, the Winchester style lever actions, which are really complex and a bit of a pain to take apart, unlike the Mullen. And so that's the two substances that I use to clean with. To a degree, I'll also maybe use Ballistol to clean, but not really. These two to clean, because as solvents, and to lubricate, pretty much these three. Singer oil. Singer oil generally for the moving parts. Ballistol more of I just cover the whole gun in it and just wipe it down, you know. And this stuff, pretty much for moving parts as well. But generally speaking, the Singer oil is #1 lubricant for moving parts. It's really good stuff. It's cheap, and this stuff isn't that cheap, either is Ballistol. So this is what I highly recommend. You can buy it at any hardware store, and what did it cost you? $4, you know, for 100 mils. So you really can't go wrong with that. So I hope that's helped people, because there's just so many products around, Rem oil and Frog Lube and this, and they're still coming out with new ones, and they reckon, oh, ours is the best, and rubbish, you know. And I don't care what they say. Just use this stuff and you can't go wrong. And don't use a lot of it, yeah, just a drop or two. So that's all I really wanted to say, and I hope I was helpful, and I'll see you later.